Then finally, some people's peacemaking so imbues their soul that it not only informs their actions, but becomes who they are, and not just for a year. From time to time, we give a Lifetime Peacemaker Award, and just reading this warm, creative woman's nomination made us decide that now was the time for this. And Father Steve Josema is going to tell us more about her. Steve.
I'm going to share my screen for a minute. Hold on.
Yes.
Here we go. Can everybody see that?
Yes.
It's really my pleasure and honor to introduce this woman who needs no introduction. I think that Pat Ferrone is well known to Pax Christi and is beloved by many far and wide. However, you may know Pat as a sister, a wife, a mother, a grandmother, friend, colleague, advocate. You really can't separate any of these roles from the thread of gospel peacemaking, which she has woven into the tapestry of her life. Pat embodies what gospel peacemaking is all about. She is nonviolent to the core and exudes a gentle strength, an all-inclusive faith, and an unconditional love in all of her undertakings and encounters. Pat embodies radical empathy. And instead of calling people out, she has a wonderful way of calling people into a deeper conversation, a deeper dialogue into the human community, into the beloved community. Her respectfulness invites even her adversaries into deeper dialogue and seldom fails to affect those most needed steps to transformation. Pat's history as a peacemaker includes being a founding member of Needham Peace and Justice. Pat has launched and participated in many agape initiatives, including Catholic Call to Peacemaking. After the invasion of Afghanistan, and called on Catholics to renounce the invasion of Iraq and walk in the way of peace. Pat's efforts to end the death penalty are extensive and include the following: her faithful participation at yearly anti-death penalty vigils at Boston State House, preparing timely and well-written stations for the annual Stations of the Cross, focused on the death penalty. Joined Agape with very few others in the peace community in vigils in the Moakley Federal Courthouse calling for Havay Sanayats to be spared the death penalty. Assisted through Pax Christi and other channels in helping Agape's effort to obtain a commutation for Billy Neal Moore, which was successful. She's offered pastoral and spiritual accompaniment of a death row inmate through letter writing and eventually face-to-face meetings until he was executed, as well as maintaining connections of support and hope with prisoners at Guantanamo. Pat was the founding member of St. Susanna's Peace and Justice Group, which in time evolved into our parish Pax Christi group, with Pat as our mentor and guiding force. This group has been a constant peace presence in the parish and local community, as well as visible in state and national issues. In this capacity, Pat has inspired and organized countless peace initiatives, actions, programs, protests, witnesses, advocacy, vigils, campaigns, and services that connect not only with folks in the pews, but also with an ever-growing number of other faith communities. Pat has even taken to the pulpit at St. Susanna to raise awareness and challenge parishioners, invited many a speaker to present it at our adult ed sessions. She's worked with our CCD teachers and confirmation teachers to engage youth at all levels, network with the parish council, our St. Vincent de Paul Society, our circle of friends, to make sure no one is left outside this gospel embrace. There seems to be no issue or suffering that offers a pass card to exempt her from engagement. She has raised awareness around many issues: gun violence, the nuclear disarmament, climate change, and how climate change particularly impacts those in the margins in a disproportionate way. Pat has connected the parish with the idea of a carbon tax witness that parishioners can contribute to, which would offset some of their carbon footprint while supporting initiatives around the world to make an immediate and concrete difference. As a matter of fact, to date, over 7,500 has been raised through that ongoing program, with grants given to such efforts as installing solar panels and water wells in Africa, water projects in Guatemala, restoration efforts in Haiti, and the like. Pat helped found a town-wide coalition to adopt a refugee family to help resettle in Dedham. For the past 3 years, she has engaged the larger consortium in the day-to-day issues and challenges that this family encounters. She has brought awareness to the parish and local community around the issues of refugees and immigration. Friendships and new life have sprung up not only with this family in our parish, but also among the 3 participating faith communities, Catholic, Episcopal, and Congregational. This was a giant step forward for Dedham, connecting to transformational relationships which are at the heart of all peacemaking efforts. This past month, we welcomed our second family, this one from Afghanistan, to our community. With Pat's engaging way, our coalition has now increased to include other Unitarian, Jewish, and other Catholic communities as well. The thread of peacemaking continues. Pat's an artist. She's an artisan of peace, an artist whose words and calligraphy have been used by many communities. She's made many exquisite banners used over the years at numerous protests, witnesses, and events. A friend to many in the peace movement and an ardent supporter of many peace communities, including Agape and Charlie McCarthy's family. Pat has served as coordinator, co-coordinator, and member of Pax Christi Mass Board of Directors. In these roles, Pat has benefited from her strong leadership. Pax Christi has benefited from her strong leadership, her prophetic voice, her passionate commitment, and her writing that moves hearts and souls. Pat is the Pax Christi U.S. regional representative representing Pax Christi, Massachusetts on a national level. Pax focus is always gospel nonviolence. For Pat, injustice to anyone is an injustice to all. Pat's not a single issue advocate. Her peacemaking is validated by her faith, her witness, and her spirit. In these days when the work of peacemaking can seem like a daunting task, and one could easily experience hopelessness or simply feel overwhelmed in engaging it, Pat's ongoing gift of radical hope and a loving heart make the ideal companion and antidote for one who has set their heart on this lifelong journey of walking in the way of peace. Her peacemaking is validated by her deep faith, her persevering witness, her gentle spirit, her radical hope, and her unconditional love. This Lifetime Achievement Award is well-fitting for the tapestry of peacemaking that Pat has woven as her way of embracing, transforming, and nurturing this world of ours in the way of peace. Delighted to introduce and welcome Pat to say a few words in response to that, and I will take this picture down. I was trying to get a picture of just Pat this morning at the last minute, and I thought that picture captured her spirit in so many ways. But she brings the church out to the world, and she brings the world into the church, and she's supported by her loved ones and her colleagues, and kind of says it all. Her scope is a wide scope, and her tapestry is a wide tapestry that certainly encompasses her lifetime.
What can I say? I mean, it took me a long time to write the introduction to Eli McCarthy. So to respond to that, Steve, is just beyond. I mean, we've had a great time doing the work, haven't we? And I love that picture because it reminds me that in the beginning, the only person missing there who should be there would be Charlie McCarthy, because he started the whole thing going. Charlie McCarthy, and then Susanna Brayton, and then the Needham Peace and Justice Group with Sally Gould and other people, and then finding Pax Christi and finding Saint Susanna. God knew what God was doing in putting us all together, because it has been a grand adventure And I couldn't have hoped to work with better people. Do you know, when you're feeling down and then you have these people who are still at it, my goodness. And then the Pax Christi board, my family, it's interesting. I had no idea, but I thought, oh my gosh, my kids are actually joining in to watch this program today. And I thought, and my grandson from Colorado, and I'm thinking, what did they do? But gee, it's taken me this long to get them pulled in. And then Richard and Cynthia from New York City. Thank you very, very much. And I guess I'm going to keep at it till it's time for me to go in some way or another. And I'm grateful, and I'm grateful for everybody being here. And thank you, just thank you so much. That's very beautiful. Love it. What?
You forgot Maribel.
Oh, my sister Maribeth's here too. Sorry. Okay, thank you, everyone. So it's just a marvelous thing.